Okay, hi guys, it's myself, Paul. So what we're going to talk to you about this afternoon is the why patients go elsewhere, and the little bits and pieces you can do to make a difference in turning your practice into a place where people enjoy to come. The interesting thing is most of the things I'm going to tell you, you'll already know. The reality is it's just about doing simple things well and putting people and teams back together, and process and principle together. So there's nothing very difficult about any of it. It's more about putting people together about what we do and how we do it. Okay, so we'll hope this works. And I've drawn the short straw, by the way, because I've got the lunchtime shift, so everyone's either having a snack or buggered off, but never mind. So, patient acquisition versus patient retention. Okay, it is far more difficult to go and find new patients than the patients we already have. So to give you some idea of the cost base on that, if you were to talk to, well, there's 4 majors that we use, but we said such and such, they would tell you that it costs about $135 to acquire a new patient. And that's made up of several things. That's your advertising costs, your maintenance costs, your phone costs, your overhead, all the bits and pieces that go with it. When you already have the patients in place, it seems almost an ironic way of maintaining it. And we tend to advertise and do things in publications just purely because other people do it. If you do, by the way, want to copy the presentation, if you share with David later your email address, we will send it to you to save you trying to keep notes. So patients go elsewhere because they can. It's a pretty straightforward statement. Today, in this day and age, there are numerous offers going the whole time, but you're not just competing with other optometry practices, you're competing for the disposable income in other areas. Okay, so you're not going to be the top of the chain. You know, probably prefer a plasma TV or an LCD TV to buying glasses. The reality is, people have a level of disposable income. The other side of that is you've got to ensure that you get your part of it. So in order to do that, you have to be able to engage. So you've got to look at your perception and how people perceive your business. And that's the hardest thing to do because we walk through the door every day. We know what we're expecting. Try and do it from the point of view of the patient. You try and walk through the door for the first time as if you don't know anything about the business. You don't know anything about the individuals. And if you find that too difficult, go and do something else. Go and look at a business or a product that you are thinking of purchasing and then go and do it and see how you feel. So, one of the things that is great about a practice is it has a team of people that work within it. And it would be really good if we all spoke to each other. Okay, we've all got different skill sets, we've all got different understandings, we've all got different perceptions of the business. But frequently we work in silos, so we all work separately to each other. It's great to get down and actually look at the practice and say, this is what makes my business different. These are the things I can share. And if you've got someone that does something really well, you know, use best practice. Share it across the team. The easiest way to do that is when you actually have your meetings, your practice meetings where you all sit and discuss things, actually just have an agenda and see if those same things are on the agenda in 3 weeks' time. Because if they are, your progress isn't startling. Okay, people by people and what they can do for them. It's all about relationships. You are selling a product which is very relationship based. It's very difficult to have a relationship with someone that you only see every 12 months or every 24 months. Okay? So it's about building that relationship. When you're talking to them, use terms they understand. Okay? It's really simple. Understand the individual. Greet them by their first name. It's not difficult. Keep your patient engaged. This is about the 11-second rule. So when you're in your practice and you have people come in, most practices follow much the same route. You have a wall of frames one side, a wall of frames the other, and some interdermal stuff going on in the middle. Sometimes frames, sometimes not. And then at the back we've got the basically sales prevention unit, which is a counter usually, which creates a barrier. And we watch patients come in, and if we don't engage with them, they go back out again. Patients don't go into practices because they've got nothing better to do. They go into your practice because they've got a need or a requirement. They want to engage with you, okay? What frequently happens is they go into the practice, they wander around for a little bit, and lack of eye contact. There's lots of reasons, okay? Give them enough time to gravitate to one area. So that's your first 4 seconds. Then watch what they pick up. That's your next 4 seconds. Okay, so we're 8 seconds now. Your final 3 seconds is you walk across and you engage. Whatever you do not ask, can I help you? Because the natural reaction is no. Nice colour, isn't it? So you pick something about the product that relates to them. And it's not difficult, just look at what they've actually picked up and relate it back to them. And it can be anything to do with the frame, what it's made out of, the colour, it can be many, many things. But steer away with questions like, can I help you? Because they just end with no. Okay, so when you're selling specific products, what we tend to do is we have a perception in mind of our client where we're going, they need this, they need that, they need the other. Okay, that's fine, but the problem is it's all rooted in what's called price. So the patient's got a price in mind. Whether we like it or not, it's ingrained. It can be from many, many sources. It can be from the internet, it can be from the TV, it can be from local press advertising, it can be from anywhere you can think of. So they may already be positioned with the price. Now, in order to deal with that, you've got to add value. It's no good going, well, this frame is X, this lens is Y, this coating's this coating's this, and by the time you've added all these things up to N, you've got, okay, and the price is, and you drop the atomic bomb, and then the patient just falls over. And then we go, oh Christ, what's the next level? What can we do with this? And usually because we don't think about the repercussions of what we've done, the first thing we step into is discount. That's the death knell for any business. The minute you start giving the product away, the national average in Australia is 15%. It's higher in certain states, but 15% is here. So for every $1,000 you're giving away, effectively, sorry, every $1,000 you're giving away $150. And what do you think the patient thinks of that? What's their view of your business? You're too bloody expensive in the first place. If you can afford to give away such large discounts, you're too expensive in the first place. Make sure that when you're selling them products, that you tell them what it's going to do for them. It means that. It will do this. Then you're engaged. Then you don't get the third party problem when they get home, which is the buyer's remorse. Okay, so what's your experience when you enter your practice? Come on, how do you feel about it? Do you think it's good? Do you actually look at things and think, shit, that thing's still hanging down, I must do something about that, and then 3 days later it's still in the same place? Or, do you know, I really miss that pair of blue glasses. We go back with all the other blue glasses. You know, we've all got those things that we know are there. Now, if we know they're there, they stand out huge to our patients. Is the environment conducive? Okay, so it's one thing to have a very sexy range of products. But if all your front of house staff have got the ability to greet patients with a bulldog chewing a wasp, you're not actually going to achieve very much. They have to be able to engage. It's got to be a pleasant and nice experience. If people are going to spend money with you, you have to make sure they enjoy it. Do you enjoy the interaction with your patients? Now, this is more really aimed at optos, okay? So we all know what we're talking about. I don't, I'm not an opto. So you're engaged in some quite heavy stuff, so you're talking in depth to the patients, okay? We use terms that they don't understand. Please stop doing that. Just tell them what it means. Just explain to them that as a result of X, this is why. And then when they go out into the front of house where the money's going to be spent, they're a lot more relaxed, so they actually understand their position. This one's always interesting, because everyone says yes, but all they really mean is no. You will all have patients that you know love you. Those are the ones you remember, and those are the ones that are easy to ask the question of. Blind surveys equally don't work. So it can be conversational. And if you actually ask patients what they expect from your practice, you can give them what they want, which means they'll like dealing with you, which means that they'll talk to other people. Okay, it's about, you've got to think about effectively, your practice is a piece of blotting paper. So if I drop ink in the middle of this, it's going to spread. Good news is going to spread. Embrace, listen, implement empathy. Okay, so what does that mean? It's really difficult because we think we know what we're doing to embrace or listen to ideas from our clients. Because to an extent we do know best. We talk about their health. But in other sides of it, we need to understand that they really don't understand that. They want to be empathised with. Do they know the make of lenses they've got in the frames? I doubt it. You've made that decision. They've got a clue. The only thing that they know is that this shiny blue frame is actually what I like. It actually works for me. It's easy. Now, empathy can also follow on something that we spoke about earlier on, which you guys will hear. It's quite interesting. You've got patients coming back to the practice to collect their spectacles. Do you really know what they look like? Can you remember what they look like? Have you any idea what they look like? Unless you really know them, I doubt it. During the activity of the purchase, and the initial stages of the purchase, everyone's got iPhones. Everyone has some form of telecommunication piece of equipment nowadays. When they have the new spectacles, take a bloody photograph, okay? This gives you an excuse to get an email address from them, a phone number, and other information. If they purchase, you can then send this back to their partner. So you don't get the buyer's remorse where, how'd you get on today, Sophie? Oh, great, you know, yeah, it's a bit different. Oh, okay. So partner thinks $500, Sophie delivers $1,000. Buyer's remorse, next morning phone call discount, it all goes back to the same thing. So it's about ensuring that people are recognised as people, because the other issues become less important. Which means you give your patients what they want, and if we give patients what they want, what do we make? We're right. That's so well done. Sold to the lady with the glasses. You're quite right, we make money, and that's what it's all about. You will engage because you understand what the clients want and do. Now, this is an interesting one. How many of you ask other people or other patients in your practice for third-party recommendation? Any of you? You do. Well done. You're the only person. Please, somebody else say they do. Brilliant. Okay. The great thing about third-party recommendation is it costs you nothing to get them. It's a simple question. And if you've carried out the service to the level that they require, you're going to get people that want to engage with you. And there is nothing more powerful than third-party recommendation. How do we know this? Well, Facebook. What a load of rubbish. Do you know what I tried to do this morning? I walked down on my way here and I handed out 6 photographs of some dinner I had yesterday to people I didn't know with pictures of my family that I don't care about. That's the power of multi-level marketing. Please, please, please do not belittle professors, okay? Let's use things at levels that people understand. Use terms that what they understand and what it means to them. So what I'm saying is keep it simple. Okay, so we're now going into the run list, which is just about the end of my presentation, which doesn't take too long, hopefully. David and Robert are going to hand out some pieces of information for you. Now, the run list is quite a clever system. I'll skip this bit, but I wanted to develop a sales process for the medical industry. So I went off to Canada and I spoke to the University of Medical Sciences, and I knew that we had to ingrain thought processes in people. So in other words, how do we engender what we do with people without making it too difficult? All of us have songs in our minds that take us back to memories that we had of other times. Equally, smells do the same thing, okay? Those are very powerful things. You can do it as well with programming, okay? So once you've learned how to program your sales force, or your sales people, your sales team, you're all working in the same direction, you end up with a model where you know exactly where you are at any one time. So you're not in a position where you try and sell something or close something at the wrong point. You're actually at the point where the person's ready to buy. Crumbs, that's hard. We've actually spoken to someone and they want to buy. Bloody hell, that's earth-shattering news. It is not difficult to learn. I'll give you the run list really quickly, then afterwards you guys can have a look, and if you want to talk to me, you can. I'm over on the other side at Clarity. So, the run list is 1 row, 2 Z, 3 tree, 4 door, 5 high, 6 6, 7 11, 8 gate, 9 wide, 10 down, 11 11, 12 shelf. What does all that mean? It sounds like a load of rubbish. The reality is that those specific words connected to numbers with a story you will remember, which then gives you a process you can use within your practice. It's extremely successful. It's used by plastic surgeons. It's used by dentists, and we all know what it's like going to the dentist, don't we? He transfers the hole in your mouth to the one in your bank account. It's absolutely dreadful, but the process works. Okay, so that's all I've got to say for now. You've been a lovely audience. Thank you for listening. If you want any more information, talk to the guys behind you. Thank you very much.